Recently, I had been to a workshop where a lot of youth from different countries, from different educational background had come to understand Indian culture, Indian philosophy, and many other aspects of Sanatan Dharma. So during the question answer session, one of the youth, he stood up and asked a question. His question was, he said that the temples are very sacred place. People go there to meditate on the Lord and to increase one's devotion to the Lord. But he said, some temples I had been, means he was referring to himself, his experience of visiting temples, that some of the temples that I have visited portrays or displays some of the art that depicts the sex in the temple. He said, I don't understand this. Can somebody please help me understand why the place of worship where God is there, where we are not supposed to be distracted, and why are these sculptures made this kind of an art? It seems very conflicting and contradicting. And he also said that he approached many people and sometimes there were no answers, sometimes the answers were not satisfactory. So what is the answer? In fact, this question many people have asked. What is this? Why do we see like this? It is because today, the present generation, all of us, we are disconnected from the previous generation and their intention. Because all these grand ancient temples that we see in our country, they all are built by the previous generation. Our ancestors, centuries and millennials ago, thousands of years ago, they built these temples. So we do not know what was their intention. Today, most of us, that whatever we do, our intention is entertainment. Anything we do, we want entertainment. Somehow, maja aana chahiye. Somehow I should enjoy whatever I do. So hardly we have any agenda in our mind. What is life meant for? So today's generations, most of their thinking is life is meant for entertainment and enjoyment. You can see who are the highest paid people in today's world. Who are the highest, who earn highest income? Most of them belong to entertainment industry. Either they belong to some cinema industry, whether it could be Hollywood, Bollywood, Tollywood, Collywood, any of these, or they may belong to sports, which is also another form of entertainment. You see, those who hit the ball with leg, which is that game, football, are paid much more, way beyond the person who repair the leg. The doctors are those who treat your leg if anything goes wrong with your leg. And that person is paid peanuts, pittance. And the person who simply uses his leg to hit some ball, he's paid in millions. So that is today's generation, where entertainment is given more priority than enlightenment. So from the Vedic scripture, we understand the purpose of human life is enlightenment, not just entertainment. So all of us who have grown up in this context, in this generation, where everything is entertainment, so for us it is very bewildering to understand why there is erotic art in the temple. Why is it like this? It's very confusing, bewildering. Sometimes people start speaking. They say, there are so many videos on internet. They say, oh, Indians were not less. Oh, look at our ancestors. They embraced this sex life wholeheartedly, even in the temples. That is why it is being propagated. So they think it is an evidence for their unrestricted sense enjoyment, because that is the present understanding. Life is meant for unrestricted freedom, unrestricted sense gratification. Anything that promotes unrestricted sense gratification is what they think is the motto of their life. So now they say these are all the evidence. Look at this. This is the evidence that even in our past, in our country's past, so this was the culture. What is the culture? Culture is open, unrestricted freedom to do anything. But is that the culture? Is that the real purpose? What is the real intention behind all this kind of an art? So this requires to understand what is a temple. What is the temple? If you do not know what is a temple, then all this kind of misunderstandings come. Because here in this verse, Krishna is saying, Kamosmi Bharatarshava. Dharma viruddha kamosmi Bharatarshava. I am that sex life which is not contrary to religious principles. Then what is religious? What is religion? First of all, we need to understand what is religion, and then we need to understand what is karma, which is not against the principle or the spirit of dharma. So from Srimad Bhagavatam, we understand what is religion, what is the real religion, what is dharma. In that, it is very clearly said the religion is about developing one's love for God. Anything that helps you to awaken or to enhance your love for Krishna, your love for God, that is called religion. Now, when Krishna says this, that I am the karma which is not against the principles of religion, that means anything that enhances this goal is being accepted in the Vedic culture. Now, what is the temple? Temple, let us understand what is temple from the Vedic perspective, from the contemporary examples. In the contemporary examples, we are all familiar with the places like Disney Park. It's called theme park. Disney Park or Wonderla, and there are many such theme parks. So what are these theme parks? What are these places? Why are they called theme park? It's basically a place which has a theme. They have a certain theme. And what is that theme? The theme is entertainment. So when you go there, from the time you enter till the time you exit, you can see there is so much of entertainment. One after other, there are themes designed to give you entertainment, to enhance your entertainment. Disney theme park or Wonderland, there are many things like that. If it is a water theme park, when you go, you will see there are many water sports, and how being part of all that, your entertainment is enhanced. So this is today's theme park. Similarly, in the past, in our Sanatan Dharma, in the Bharat Bhumi, the temples used to be the theme park. So what is the theme of the temple? The theme of the temple is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. This is the theme. Anybody who comes, anybody who visits the temple, the theme is very clear. What is the theme? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. They need to understand what is Dharma. They need to understand what is Artha Shastra. Artha means how to mobilize resources so that you can peacefully carry out your dharma. And Kama, the necessary the satisfaction of the desires when you are in this material world, in the material body. And then finally, the goal of life is to achieve liberation, moksha, going back to God, to the spiritual world. This is the theme. And also, a responsible civilization always thinks how to educate people step by step towards a particular spiritual goal. Like, if you are responsible parents, when you have children, you have this responsibility in your mind. How do I educate my children? But what is the general attitude of the child? The child is not interested in any education. You may be interested in education, but the child generally not interested in any education. You tell, my dear child, here is a wonderful school, so I want to admit you to school, please come. The child say, why should I come? I'm not interested in going to any school. I want to simply play around. I want to simply play games. I'm not interested in all these things. So from the Bhagavad Gita, we understand the general attitude of the living entities in the material world is they are not inclined towards moksha. That is not their natural inclination because of association with the material nature. Because of our association with material nature, it is said that Krishna Bahirmukha Jiva Bhogavancha Kare. Bhogavancha Kare Japatiya Dhare Krishna Bahirmukha Jiva. Krishna Bhuliya Jiva. Krishna Bhuliya. Bhuliya means forget. We have forgotten God. We have forgotten what is the goal of our life. And we have turned against God. See all of our life. How much are we interested in God? We are turned ourselves away from the God. Even those who say, oh, I'm very religious, I'm very much interested in God, hardly a few minutes they're interested in God in a day. But most of the time, out of 24 hours, they're not interested in any God and all these things. They're interested in sense gratification, entertainment and all this stuff. So, for such people who have turned themselves away from God, now how do you step by step bring them towards sanity? Now we all have gone insane. In the material world, living entities have gone crazy. They have gone insane in the name of sense gratification. Like the child is insane. It is saying, I want to just play around. I'm not interested in your school, college and all those things. So how the parents convince the child? How they give chocolate. And they say, if you go to school today, I'll give you chocolate. So like that, the Vedic civilization, they have a responsibility of bringing people towards dharma. They have responsibility of educating people. How do you mobilize resources for dharma? Now today also people are busy in earning money. Today also people are busy in accumulating wealth. But not as per dharma. Not as per dharma. In any way I can accumulate money. Whatever I want I can do. Somehow I should get money in my life. I can tell lies. I can do corruption. I can take bribes. I can swear on God but cheat people. Anything is okay, but finally I should get money. That's all matters. So that's the mentality of the people in present generation. But that's not what the civilized society looks like. The civilized society looks like, even though you are going to enjoy, even though you want to accumulate money, even though you want to do karma, you want to fulfill your desire, but how do you do that? As per the religious regulation, how do you do it? So this what a temple is going to teach people. A temple is not simply some place of worship where people go have darshan and run away from that place. A temple is not only meant for going and having darshan of the God. That is one of the aspects. But temple is also a place of education. Not education means, today again there is a misunderstanding in the people mind. Education means they think education means how to get job. Okay, they ask, what are you studying? And you tell something, some course name, they'll say, oh, why did you join this course? You will not get any job after this. So that means today the purpose of education is simply become how to get one job after this education. They don't think education has got many other purpose. But In the Vedic understanding, education is not only for getting job. That is definitely one of the important goals, but that is not the only goal. Education means there are many other aspects. Especially education is about taking person from dharma, artha, kama and to moksha. Then that is a perfect education. If the education is not telling you the importance of moksha, what is liberation, how to get liberation, then your artha and kama, they will only create more disturbance in your life. So, temples are the place of an education where one learn what is dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So, temple is a theme park, like Disney theme park, like Wonderla water theme park, like that the temples are dharma, artha, kama, moksha theme park. When you go, the theme should be very clearly visible to everyone. Now onwards, whenever we all visit temple, keep this in your mind. Temple is meant for dharma, artha, kama, moksha theme park. Now, temple is meant for whom? Is it meant for only grown-up people? Is it meant for only old people? Is it meant for who should go to temple? Like today, people think, oh, I'm going to temple. You go and tell them, oh, why are you going to temple? You're so young. Then who should go to temple? All those useless old people who have no other work, they should go to temple. This is what people say. Temples are meant for whom? Who is the mostly visiting temple? Those who don't have anything to do now, they should go and sit down in the temple. Why? Because they don't have anything to do. This is the corrupt understanding in the people's mind today. Is that the only reason why temple? It is like who should go to college? Or you don't have anything to do at home, then you go to school, college. If somebody tells like this, what a misunderstanding it is. Who should go to school, education, university? Small kids also should go. You'll be waiting. You meet anybody, hey, how are you? And all, immediately they'll ask, oh, what is the age of your child? You tell some 10-year-old, oh, which school he is in? No school and all. Why should he go to school? He's aramse playing around. People will get surprised. The child not started going to school is a shock for people. Like that, if somebody in the Vedic culture, if you go and tell them that I don't visit temple, they'll be surprised. That means you are not getting educated in dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Just like today, everybody realizes the importance of education, university education, and from the very young age, you are sent to that kindergarten and then school and then university, like that. In the Vedic understanding, Prahalad Maharaj says, Durlabham Manusha Janmam, this human form of life is so difficult to get. It's very rare gift that we have got. So he says, Kaumaram Achareto Prajna. From the age of 5, called Kaumara, you should start getting this education, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha education. At what age? Age of 5. That means starting from small children up to old people, everybody should visit this Vedic theme park called temple. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. That is a theme. Everybody should visit. And for everybody, there should be some education there when they go to temple. Everybody should get some education there. And there should be something that attracts everyone. You know, there are playground in the school. Nowadays, it's a rare sight in the cities. It's horrible. Sometimes there are no playgrounds. So, but in the olden days, school means there will be a nice playground and kids love spending time in the playground, right? So why there is a playground? Oh, school means only there should be some board and bench and all that. Why this playground? Playground is also important as a part of education. So there has to be some attraction. Why I should go to school? Like that, for everybody there should be an attraction. Because finally everybody should come to the point of moksha. Everybody should understand what is dharma. Now, so when you go to a temple, the ancient architecture temple, you see there are temple has different height. Generally, temples have 200 feet tall gopurams, 300 feet, 100 feet. The temples are very huge structures. And many times people don't know why ancestors used to build huge temple. It is like somebody asking why this university has 100-acre campus. Why it has 100-acre campus? Because it has got so many education purpose to achieve. It requires so much, campus. Like that, temples also, because they were a Vedic education center where they are supposed to teach Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. They need a huge space because they have to communicate this theme of Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So when you go to temple, it's very interesting. Look at the bottom, what they have carved. Look at those carvings at the bottom, at the beginning layer of the temple. You will see very fascinating carvings. What is that fascinating carvings? You will see some elephants. You will see some horse. You will see some animals. So these are the carvings you will see in the first layer, second layer, third layer, like that. You don't find elephant carving, horse carving, and all this carving on the top of the temple. It is not randomly, simply they carved all those things wherever they want. They were very clear what carving has to come in what place, at what height. Because it's an educational place. You have to educate people. So why is it that layer? Why is it that place? Can anybody guess? Please. So when you go to temple, obviously not like today's corrupted generation which thinks only old people should go to temple. So in the Vedic culture, everybody goes to temple. Starting from kids, everybody goes to temple. So education should start. And what is a child interested in? If you tell the child, my dear child, you should get moksha in your life. You should get liberation in your life. The child will not understand what is moksha, what is all these things. What you are talking. I'm not interested in all this. It is like when child goes to school, you tell the child, first standard child, what is integration, differentiation, and all this mathematics. The child will stop going to school, college. It doesn't understand. So the child should be shown what child is interested in. So the child is generally interested in cartoon. And you see all the cartoon characters. Generally the cartoon characters are all animal characters. You see Mickey Mouse. It's a mouse. And there is some dog, and there is some Scooby-Dooby, and all this you see, Chota Bheem or any of these things, they're mostly of animal character. The way they draw the cartoons and the animation, the children, they very easily, they connect themselves with animals, and their bonding with animals is very easy. So when you see the height of the child, when the child is too small, what can child see in the 200 tall structure? Can the child see what is there on the top of the gopuram? No, the child can only see what is there at the below level. So that is why all the animal characters are being carved, so that the child can enjoy that. While a father or a grown-up man can see something else. What is his seeing height? What is the child's seeing height? So as per the children's height, you will see the animal characters. There will be some baby elephant going with the mother elephant. There will be some baby elephant playing with the mother elephant. There will be some horse, and there are some other animals. And there's some elephant putting its trunk on some tree. So you will see this and you will be thinking, why have they carved all these things? Because for you, for a grown-up person, some elephant, some all these things may not be an attraction. But that is an attraction for the child. And it's not like, the elephant is visible every day, that horse is visible. In every house there is an elephant, horse. No. Elephants and horses are not some common animals that are visible in everybody's house. So obviously, in all the time, horse, elephants, and all this kind of animals were very rare sight. And those days, it is an attraction for the child to go and see all these things. So that is how such carvings you will see at the below part of the temple, when you see the carvings of the temple. And when you little go up and you will see some other interesting things. Like when you visit some famous temples where a lot of carvings are there, like Hampi in Karnataka, for example. There are many temples. Unfortunately, in North India, there are no ancient temples to go and see. All temples are being destroyed by invaders and envious people. So if you go to South India, there are still a lot of ancient temples. You will see that above all those things of children age, you will see now there is some education of Ayurveda, how to treat a person, how, and next you will see there will be war, how the war take place, what happens in the war, how an enemy attacks and how somebody defends that, and how in the war what all will be there. See, obviously common people like all of us, we don't know what all is there in the army, what all kinds of things happen in the army. On Republic Day there is a display, on the TV we all can see that the army and the what is that parade. There is a parade and there are different kinds of people come and show their weaponry and what all is there in the army. Not everything, something they'll come and show. So that's how people come to know, and their confidence will increase. And also they get some idea, okay, this is how things happen. And also the moment you grow up little bit, you see youth, the young people, their blood is very hot. And what attracts them is fighting scenes. When somebody makes a movie, they make sure that there is humor, there is some fight scenes, and there are some romantic songs, and there are some, other sentiment, their parents and all crying scene. So everything is there so that all kinds of people come. If you simply make action movie, then you will lose out many of audience. Then only those who are interested in action, they will come. If you simply make some humorous comedy movie, then you will only get people who like comedy. If somebody who likes sentiment, they may not come to watch your movie. So that's why nowadays when they make movie, they make something like this, rom comedy. What is rom comedy? Anyone knows? Romance also will be there, comedy also will be there. They'll say horror comedy. What do you mean by horror comedy? Some horror also will be there, comedy also will be there. So they want to bring as many people as possible, because that's at the end of the day, it's a business. You need to get more people to pay for watching your movies. So for kids, you carvings you see. And for teenagers and those who are young people, and for them there is a war scenes and all that. And then above that you will see Arthashastra, how business happen, how business people come, from which country they all come, and what kind of trading happens, that carvings also see. And apart from that, you will also see now this the question why there is a erotic art. Why do you see in the temples the exhibition of some activities of sex? So that is because that is also being taught to people. What is all these things? And how does it happen? What way it should happen? What is the purpose of all these things? Like if you go to Konark temple, there is one very famous temple in Orissa called Konark. It is very famous for erotic art, carvings. Of course, there are so many other scientific carvings like how to calculate time and all that. But people don't pay attention to all that. So they only ask questions like this. So they show in their carvings how a woman gives birth to the child is carved. So that there is an education, how that happens, how that child is given a birth, and after that the woman gives birth to the child, and what has to happen, what treatment is given to that woman, how does it happen, all those things is being carved. So it's an education. So this is, and then when you look up, see up like this, you will see all the devatas and all that, carvings. What all those devatas are doing, what are they engaged in those activities that are related to moksha. So that everybody has a certain theme to learn, to benefit from, or to attract all kinds of people to temple, because everybody is not naturally interested in moksha theme. To bring people to moksha, you have to take them through a channel of different themes and attraction, and there has to be an education for all of that. So Vedic temples are a theme park of dharma, artha, kama, moksha. And one more understanding why such a carvings of erotic art exist in the temple is, it is also to tell that it's a representation of material world. How in the material world, the jiva is always distracted. And the God is when you go beyond all these things. the outer layer of the temples. When you go to outer layer of the temples, only there you will see this kind of art. When you go inside the altar, when you go inside the temple, you won't find any such arts. You'll only see the pastimes of the Lord. You'll only see the different activities, how the Lord delivered some demons, how the Lord blessed some devotee, this kind of pastimes being carved, how the Lord blessed some devotees. So this kind of art you will see. So the idea is that it is an education to tell people that if you are interested in moksha, you should develop sufficient strength to go beyond all those things. If you get stuck at this level, oh, here is this, this is all very interesting, I'll be here only, then you have not gone inside to have the darshan of the Lord. The Lord is available when you are able to transcend all this attraction. Daivi hai esha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, my maya, my illusion is very difficult to surpass. Mam eva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. But if you surrender unto me, you will be able to cross over all these things. So it has got two purposes. Why there is erotic art on the temple? Two purposes. The two purpose is to attract all kinds of people to the Vedic education center called temple, where all kinds of an education is given. And secondly, it is also to tell people that if you are interested in moksha, if you are interested in God, if you want to develop a relationship with God, then you have to go beyond the distraction of all these things. That is where the God is there. That is why when you go to temple and carefully see Shikhara on top of the any Gopuram, as you go higher and higher and above, you will see only the moksha related or God related carvings. At one particular height, at one particular stage, you will see all this erotic art. It is not that it is, it is simply designed to tell people that now you see, olden days also people used to do all these things unrestrictedly. That is why they're promoting on the temple. So we should also do. This is totally a misunderstood philosophy of the present generation. The real philosophy is that it is meant to tell you what is the theme of Srimad Bhagavatam. The theme of Srimad Bhagavatam is Kamasya na indriya priti. In the Bhagavatam first canto, second chapter, we see this verse. It is said that Kamasya na indriya priti labho jiveta yavata jivasya tattva jignyasa narto yascheha karma bihi. Kama is not meant for a distraction in human form of life. Kama should be directed towards achieving moksha. So this is the purpose, this is the theme the temples are communicating. One has to rise above the distraction of all this lust. How much Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita, how to control lust, how to go beyond all that lust, and what is that lust, how a human being can be entangled. There is another temple in Gujarat. That place is called Rani Ki Vav. It's very famous. You can go and type on the Google and YouTube and you can see that Rani Ki Vav. It's actually a step well. It is one very deep well that is there. And there you will see the so many carvings on those walls, and you will see. And very interestingly, you will see there is a Lord Narayana, Krishna or Vishnu, deity being carved very beautifully. And outside of that, you will see women dressed in a very erotic manner. And then you see, oh, look at this, all those things. Why are they? You will very carefully see next to them what they have carved. What have they carved? They carved how a person is being caught and being entangled because of attraction to all these things, and because of which they are not able to go towards Narayana. They are stuck. How kama can bind somebody in the material world. How kama or lust can be an obstacle. It can be one deterring factor in the moksha are going towards Krishna, which is the aim of life, very nicely being carved. But people don't see all these things in a systematic manner. They picky, cherry pick, and see how they're all carved here. Why have they carved all these things? They say, oh, if our ancestors wanted us to go and see God, why have they carved all these things? It is like somebody saying, if Valmiki wanted me to read about Ram, then why did he write about Manthara, Kaikeyi? No such character should be there. Only about Ram should be there. So this is not a proper logic. You have to understand why Manthara is there, why Kaikeyi is there. It is mentioned about them so that you don't become like them. In Mahabharata, why should there be discussion about Duryodhan? If at all Duryodhan is a bad person, you should avoid his character, no? Why are you writing and so that you are propagating? No, it is written so that you avoid it. So like that, if there is an erotic art being carved on the temple walls, it is for two purposes. One is to educate people. You have to very carefully, you need right direction, right approach to understand what is it communicating. You cannot simply see without a context. You have to go carefully, understand there is a theme being communicated. What are they communicating through this? If you don't understand what are they being communicated, then individually you will see everything and you will misunderstand in a disconnected manner. So coming back to this point that where Krishna himself says that he is the karma which is not against the religious principle. And that karma is always presented in the Vedic culture without any hesitation. Because that karma is required for propagation of the progeny or whatever it is mentioned as per the religious principle. So as per the religious principle, what is allowed, what is not allowed is being presented in the Vedic theme park, which is called temples, through in a stone carving. Why have they carved in the stone only? Because if you want to tell something very serious, then it has to remain for a long time. And historians and people who study all these monuments, they tell that stone stays for a long time, for hundreds and thousands of years. So can you imagine what is being carved, they're trying to communicate is being carved on the stone so that for centuries and centuries it is available for us to go and learn. So it is not at all right to think that it is only for old people. It is for everyone, for everybody there is a message, systematic manner. How like mathematics is being taught to small kids in a very systematic manner so that one day the same child will come to engineering and understand the higher mathematics. Similarly, the moksha concept is very nicely educated through all people of all ages in the temple through a theme of all this, whatever is being carved. You will see all animals and you will also see how there will be an animal called Gajendra. And that Gajendra theme will be there, how Gajendra is connected to Vishnu. So the child which is interested in the animal, all this cartoon character, now will ask the mother, what is this animal? What is happening to this elephant now? Why there is this thing? Now mother will get an opportunity to explain what is Gajendra Moksha and how Narayana comes and protects. So through that cartoon character, even the child will be given the concept of moksha. The child is interested first in the animal. And then from that interest, you should divert that interest of animal to Narayana. Like that, somebody may be interested in some erotic art. So, but again, you will see very systematically being carved. As I said, you go, one example I'm giving in that Rani Ki Vav. When you go and carefully watch that, you will see, oh, okay, through this I can get entangled. Oh, in this way I'll remain in the material world. In this way my suffering will increase. Then you will see, okay, how to get out of this. So like this, there is a theme of moksha, liberation being communicated through all possible manner in the temples. And that is why temple is actually a Vedic theme park that communicates the theme of dharma, artha, kama, moksha. This is the purpose. We'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Nitai Gaur Premanande.